Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. In this video, I just want to talk about balancing our feelings versus our logic. Balancing our feelings versus our logic. You know, in regards to narcissistic abuse, most of us, we've dealt with the narcissist in a personal setting. And that's the aspect of it that I'm going to talk about today. Not necessarily, like a coworker or a business setting, but in a personal relationship. And this is family members, this is romantic dealings. And a lot of times it's hard for us to let go of the narcissist because we're still in our feelings. It's hard for us to fully grasp and accept what everything is because of our feelings. You know, our logic understands one thing and our feelings are saying another. So we're, in essence, having this somewhat of a tug of war between the two. Or in some cases, we're just throwing our logic completely to the side and letting our hearts make all the decisions. But as we can see, when we're not taking into account our logic and we're just letting our heart have its way, is leading us into rough situations because our hearts are not always right. You know, feelings can change anyway, because that's what our heart is basically dictating. Our heart is what we're feeling. You know, what we're feeling. But our logic knows something else. I could be a diabetic person, and in my heart, I love me some chocolate cake, and I love me some ice cream. I love my sugar. But logically, my mind knows that sugar is not good for me, especially because I can't process it in a healthy manner, and that's why I'm a diabetic. So as much as I love that sugar, it's no good for me. So my logic will say, hey, I don't want to become unhealthy. I know I have to stay away from that, even though I love the taste of it. The same thing with the narcissist. We get hooked on that cycle of abuse. Scientists have actually studied it, and they talk about the different kinds of hormones that we release when we're bonding with someone, and how these hormones are triggered during certain experiences in a relationship. And we get hooked on these releases of the hormones. And it actually makes us crave that same pattern. So if we're used to all these inconsistencies, all these ups and downs, highs and lows, we literally get addicted to that roller coaster ride, basically. And that's what happens in narcissistic abuse. And that becomes our norm. And that's why sometimes when a person has been in that situation for so long and they get a regular relationship without all these extreme highs and lows, it doesn't even feel right to them. They don't know how to receive it. And that's a whole nother video of needing to do the work so that those normal relationships will be what you crave rather than the dysfunction that you're used to having. But not to be getting too far off a topic, you know, we really have to start balancing this, especially for my female listeners out there. You know, as women, we are natural nurturers. We really are. Most of us anyway. We're born that way. And we want to nurture. We want to take care of. But at what point do we recognize, you know, what we're trying to nurture is just not going to be fruitful, and it's not in my best interest, and I'm wasting my time. Okay? And then it's not even reciprocated. It's not even reciprocated. So we have to learn how to deal with the narcissist logically. You have to deal with them logically. They're not dealing with us from their heart because they don't even love us or care about us. They're dealing with us from their logic as well, actually. Yeah, that is how they're actually dealing with you. And this is how they're able to just leave you at the drop of a dime. They've never bonded with you the way that you're bonding, or the way that you think you're bonding with them. But it's certainly not the same, though. It's still different, even though you're not truly in love with them the way that you think. And I'll have to point this out in another video. But you're still bonding with them in a way that they aren't bonding with you at all. They're not bonding with you as a person and a human being. They're just attracted to the supply that they can get from you. And that makes the relationship very business. And that's why you get fired, technically, when they feel like, okay, well, your supply isn't good enough, or I think I'm going to give this person a promotion because I like what they can produce for me better. This is how they're dealing with us. So we have to be logical in dealing with a person like this. Feelings are just something dangerous to bring into this picture, because it's only going to hurt you, because you're the only one using those feelings. This is how they keep one-upping survivors a lot of times, because they're still in their feelings. They're still thinking that, you know, there's some type of love or care, some type of nurturing to be had. Okay, guys? So let's step out of our feelings and get to the logic. And this is a good rule of thumb generally in life. Let's have a balance with that. Okay, you feel this way, but think about it as well. You know, think about what you're feeling and doing. And see if it makes sense. If it's in alignment with where you're trying, what you're trying to accomplish, and where you're trying to go in your life. And if the game plan is to stay away from toxic relationships and toxic people, think about, you know, okay, I feel like doing this, but logically, is that supporting me staying away from toxic people and toxic relationships? Or is that going to pull me right back into what I'm trying to get away from? And will I regret these actions or behaviors immediately after they're done? We can't be short-sighted. So we have to start being logical about things. I hope this video resonates with someone. And until next time, stay safe.